Hello everyone, welcome to my first ever video that I'm going to upload on YouTube. So I hope you guys like it. Okay, so let's get on to it then. Basically the task is configuring SSH, as you can see here. Okay, the objectives are secure password, encrypt communication, verify SSH implementation. So the whole purpose of this exercise is, as it says here, SSH should replace Telnet for management connection. Telnet uses insecure plain text communication. SSH provides security for remote connection by providing strong encryption of all transmitted data between devices. In this activity, you will secure a remote switch with password encryption and SSH. Okay, so let's start off with part 1. So A, okay, use the command prompt on PC1, telnet to SSH, switch 1, use exec mode and privilege mode. Privilege exec password is Cisco. Okay, so PC1, if we point to it just briefly, we can see the IP address is 10.10.10.10, which is /24, and switch 1 is 10.10.10.2. okay, so let's start off with A then. So how do we do it? We click on PC1, okay, we go onto the desktop and click on command prompt. So what we do is, let's just drag it to a side here somewhere, just to get a nice view of it. Okay, so now we're going to use telnet. So we say telnet, the IP address of the actual switch, which is 10.10.10.2. okay, so enter. Okay, and the password, as it says here, Cisco. Okay, so we're going to use that, Cisco. Okay, after that we're going to say enable. Okay, and then it's going to ask us to enter the password again. Then again we say Cisco. Okay, so now we onto the switch, yeah, and then we can say so then we go on to the B, which is it's saying that save the current configuration so that any mistakes you might make can be reversed by toggling the power for S1. Okay, so we can say copy run, yep, start. Okay, alright, so and then we just select enter. Yep, perfect, that's all good now. Then we go on to C. So C says show the current configuration and note that the password are in plain text. Enter the command that encrypts plain text. Okay, so basically currently the text is not the password is not encrypted, is in telnet. Okay, so we gonna see how that is not encrypted. So we say show run. Okay, enter. Okay, so you can see enabled password is Cisco. Yep, obviously that's in plain text, we can clearly see the password. And if we go down a little bit, in fact, yes, show run again. If we go down, down, all the way down, all the way down. Yep, and we can see both passwords. Okay, Cisco and Cisco. Yep. So this is in plain text. So how do we encrypt that? Okay. So we go down to the end, and now we can say we can now say configure. You can say config terminal as config t or configure terminal. Configure terminal. It doesn't matter which way you do it, it will work. Okay, so we say configure terminal, for instance. Okay, and then we can say service password encryption. Okay, enter. Okay, now let's go to show run again. So just go on end. So I finished that off, and let's go on show run. Show run. Okay. Right, now all the way down to the end again. All the way to the end. Okay. Now we can see both passwords have now been encrypted. So we encrypted the service passwords now. Okay. So great. Now this is C completed, and we verified that the password is now encrypted. So part 1 completed. Okay, and we go on completion, which is at the moment is 20 out of 100. Okay, and then we go on to part 2. Okay, so again we can go on config t. Okay, now we're on configure terminal. Okay, it says it is generally not safe to use telnet because data is transferred in plain text. Therefore, use SSH whenever it is available. Okay, so this is a bit like part 1. It's just a brief recap of it, basically. So now we go on configure the domain name to be netacad pka. Okay, so we say we say IP domain space dash name netacad dot pka. Enter. Okay, and then again we can see the completion is now 40%. Right, and then next is B. So here, so secure keys are needed to encrypt the data. Generate the RSA keys using the 1024 key length. Okay, so we say crypto key generate, crypto key generate RSA. Okay, enter. Yep, so by default it will use 512. Yeah, so we want to change it to 1024, which is 1024. We just specified the number. Great, and enter. There we go. Now again, completion 60% out of 100. Okay, So next thing it's asking us is saying create an SSH user and reconfigure the VTY lines for SSH only access. Okay, so create an administrator user with Cisco as the secret password. So we say username administrator and then password is secret Cisco. Okay, so secret Cisco as the secret password, and administrator, which is administrator here as the username. So enter, and then that has now been created, and again we can see 80% of 100. Okay, and then next thing we do, it says configure the VTY lines to check the local username database for login credential and to only allow SSH for remote access. Yeah, remove the existing VTY lines password. Okay, so what we do is we say so line VTY 0 space 15, enter. Okay, now we're onto the VTY line, so we actually gonna start off by doing this bit here, which is remove this bit here. So remove the existing VTY line password. Okay, so we say no password. Okay, enter, and again you can see it jumped to 86% out of 100. Okay, and the next thing we do is we say then login local. Okay, and then enter. Okay, again 93% out of 100. So then we say transport SSH. Okay, which is this part here, to only allow SSH for remote access. Okay, so we're going to transport it to SSH. Okay, so transport transport input. Yeah, if you just use transport input and question mark, it shows you all these options here. Okay, so none means no protocol. Okay, SSH, it means SSH. Yeah, and then telnet, that is to obviously telnet. Okay, so we say then SSH, which is this one here. Yeah, so transport input SSH, and then enter. Yep, so now that's all good to go. So 100 out of 100. Now on to part 3. Okay, so how do we check if what we have done is actually working? So first of all, let's just exit all this, exit, and exit again. So we say we try telnet as we did previously. So before yeah, we can't actually go up, so we try telnet again, as it says here, exit the telnet session and attempt to log back in using telnet. Okay, the attempt should fail. Okay, so we're looking at A here. Okay, so we say telnet, the switch, so the switch address, so 10.10.10.2, enter. Yep, there you go. Connection to 10.10.10.2 closed by foreign host. Okay, so telnet is no longer working. Okay, so part A completed. Now, okay, it says attempt to log in using SSH. Type SSH and press enter without any parameters to reveal the command usage instruction. Okay, so hint, the dash L, so this is not 1, it's L. Okay, I actually had trouble with this because I didn't know if it was 1 or if it was L. Okay, so it's L, not 1. Okay, so the L, so the minus L option is the letter L, as it says here, not the number 1. Okay, so what you do is we now gonna attempt to log in using SSH. Okay, so we say SSH space dash L, okay, space the username which we have created, which is administrator. Okay, and then we say the address, so this host here, which is the switch address, so we say 10.10.10.2. okay, enter. Okay, there you go. So now it's prompting us to enter our password. So we set up our password to be Cisco, for instance. Okay, so we do Cisco. Okay, enter. Yep. If we want to do any configuration, we just say enable, and it will ask us again for the password. Again, it's going to be Cisco, and boom, we're in. So basically, this is our configuration of SSH complete. Okay. By all means, I know that this video wasn't perfect. It's my first time. So I'm going to upload this on YouTube, and do give me feedback if you got any questions or anything that you want to talk about. Let me know, and I should respond to you. Okay, and feel free to subscribe, of course. Alright, thank you.